What's going on, everybody? It's Rogalindo here from Stream Creators. I hope you guys are doing great out there. So today I just wanted to do a quick video on the Elgato Facecam, but not only that, but the new update that was just released. So let me take you over to my shared screen so we can get into that at all. So right here, you've got what we call the camera hub. Now, the difference between most webcams versus the Facecam from Elgato is going to be this. All the settings that you can get from a mirrorless cam can be done within the Elgato Facecam. All the settings that you could do from zooming, from metering, shutter speed, everything else on there that you can set. Now here's the big kicker. When you save these settings, you save them directly from the camera hub into the actual camera, unlike saving it on the settings of your third-party application that you're using to record. For example, I'm recording on Ecamm, and I always adjust the picture settings from the temperature to the gamma to the saturation, etc. But I don't really have to do that. I mean, if the settings can be done on the camera and they're preset, and it'll look like that on any application that I use, it is a game changer to make sure to do that within the camera. Now, a lot of the things that people wanted on the next version of the Facecam was really the shutter speed, the metering, and also the processing, making sure that those things can be set to different focal points, to different sets that give you a brighter, point of, light when it comes to any of that. So a lot of these things on here, once you make modifications, you must hit the save button to make sure they are saved to the camera. And again, once they're saved to the camera, then there's no need to really reset that in your third party unless you got to make some minor adjustments. So for me, because of the brick background, I like the red, so I'm going to be changing it up a little bit in regards to saturation. Originally, it could be something like this. Some people don't like it bright. I'm dark skinned, so I like myself to glow like I just got back from the Bahamas. So it might be like this. Some people say, hey, that's a little too red. That's why I've got my lights in the back to kind of offset the color. Another thing you can also do is on the exposure, you can see the ISO that it's set. Now, right now it's centered and it's automatic, but I can always change my ISO speed to something different. So if I was to change the shutter speed of my camera to different shutter speeds. Now, if you don't know shutter speeds, don't worry about it. It's just the way the light is coming into the lens of the camera. So you could be really bright. Look at that. You could be a lot darker, but sometimes you need those light settings, to make that change. ISO down here is also how much light is going into the actual lens. Now, for me, I would suggest playing with it until you get it how you want it. Otherwise, leave it to automatic, and then it automatically adjusts to the light. A lot of people don't like automatic because it does make adjustments as you are changing your scenes and your lighting on your set. So it's very important to adjust it to how you're working on it. Maybe you don't have panel lights here. Maybe you have overhead lights like I do up here. But the light is always going to be fed into the lens of the camera, so we want to make sure that we balance correctly. White balance is another one on the temperature too. Let me play with that a little bit. You notice that in the white balance, it's a little too on the red side, where if I switch it over here, you'll notice the temperature difference from a cooler to a hotter and somewhere in the middle. So again, I'm setting it right now to auto balance so you guys can see the changes. And then your anti-flicker is really going to be when you're looking at it on the monitor. Are you getting the 60 hertz, 50 hertz? I can explain those in another video, but today I just really wanted to show you the new items that you can see. Now, these here are suggested ISO 151, white balance of 2832, and then it changes as it grabs more light it's coming in. So one of the favorite features that I have, and I'll have to move my screen up so you can actually see it. Let me drag this up a little bit. Is this right here. This is very important to me. This is saving my camera settings as 1080 at 60 frames per second. Now, that's very important because when I change that in my third-party application, I get choppy. I become robot. I become very 1980s. I don't like that. I like that the camera is controlled in the firmware of the inside of the camera of those settings. I can keep it at 1080 60 frames per second. Then I go to my software and I know my camera is behaving in that recording as it should versus 30 frames per second or something else where I'm a little smooth. One way to test it that I always tested it, put it higher and wave your hands across. If you can see your hands moving like this, you're good. And actually, you're looking at the camera hub, you're looking at what the camera's actually seeing versus what I have on my eCam, which is going to be, let me go back to that screen right there, which is going to be this. This is my eCam software, but here I can always adjust settings as well. But as you can see, my hands are moving fine. Once in a blue moon, you'll see the choppiness, and that's the software trying to catch up. But as you can see that, from that motion to versus what's in the camera hub, it seems to flow better. But because that is directly from the camera. Now, this is the settings you'll get in Zoom, Microsoft Teams, any third party that you're using, Skype, etc. So those are things I'm going to be doing like that. Now, remember, this is a good, nice camera. The camera is about $200 versus a mirrorless cam that with just the basic mirror, it's about $600, $700. So you're actually saving money. But as some of my friends have called me the king of webcams, I've got every type of webcam available. And this is definitely my favorite. This is as close as it'll be without having to go shell out $500, $600, US dollars that is, on a mirrorless cam that I would love to do, but that's a lot of dough. So $200 on this wasn't too bad. I love the camera. It's great. It's got a great zoom, FOV, the exposure, again, it's awesome. And it has everything that I need to do. Now, again, the preview format for me for suggestion is always 1080 60. If your computer can't handle that, because your computer might be chugging along, you can do a little bit lower. Maybe do a 720. Try to stick to the 60 frames per second. If you can't do that, 30 is fine. It's not going to kill you to do 30. As a matter of fact, let me bring it down a little bit so you can see what it looks like. This is 30 right here. So as you can see, my hands move a little bit more smooth, but the pixelation on it is a little bit less. The quality is still 1080, as opposed to if I went to like a 720. Here's 720, right? 720 is what most people are going to be using. Lower speed on your computer, less graphics. Your screen is a 720 window versus a 1080, like when you're watching something on TV. So for me, I like the 1080. I love the 1080, but again, depending on your computer, third-party processor speed and all that jazz, you might want to stick to that. Also, this is recommended when you are broadcasting live. If you're trying to do a 1080 on a low internet speed, and I'll tell you in a minute what low internet speed would be, is it's going to chug along when it's trying to stream that high quality. So if you're streaming, a 720 is fine to do. So here's the speeds, and I'm going to throw them out there. Some people might have different opinions on it. I'm a tech person, so for me, if you have a speed of 100 megabits or more, do the 1080. That's fine. If you're in the 100 to, let's just say 60 Mbps, as they call it, so 60 to 100, I would do, the 1080 by 30. That's not going to kill you. Now, if your internet speeds are between 50 and 25, stick to the 720s. It's probably better to do it that way. If you're in the mountains and you barely get internet and you're like, my speeds are 25 or even 10, that's going to be hard for you. So I'm going to say 720/30 is probably going to be the best for you to do that. If not, drop it to 540. I mean, I hate to do a 540, but when your internet is so slow, you got to cut down the resolution. You got to cut down on the high quality of that. So higher the speed, the higher the bandwidth that you can do, the higher the rate, the higher the graphics that you can do. So think of it, that setup right there. 1080 will be over pretty much anything high internet. 720/30 is going to be mid internet, and if you're low internet, drop it down to the 540. I think that's going to be best for all of you guys out there. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I can always show you some tools that you can use to check your internet speed and really see what kind of rates you are getting. So hopefully that's very helpful. Let me scroll down a little bit more. I really just wanted to just kind of go that one of the newest things that I did see that they just added was checking your mirror. So what if I don't want the logo on this side? That's it. Because my screen is over here. So as you can see, it's opposite hand, but I wanted you to see the shirt, correctly displayed for you. Now, if I'm looking at a monitor, which is to my right, I'm looking this way, which is looking at my left. So to me, that doesn't look right. I need to be looking opposite. So I'm going to mirror my cam like this. So when I'm looking at my monitor and I'm talking to you on that screen, I'm looking that way if I have a picture-in-picture screen. But when I do that, then my shirt is reversed. So would you rather see the shirt correctly, or would you see it reversed just because I'm looking at my monitor that's over there, not over there? And this is my left hand, this is my right hand. So it depends on your, your way, your view, your setup. For me, on this example, I'm looking at it this way, so the shirt looks correct, and my logo is opposite of me. See, as you can see, it's over here, but it's opposite of me. So, all right, I hope that was very helpful. I just want to do a quick video on this. Let me know if you have any questions. Elgato Facecam, you can go to elgato.com. Check out the Facecam. It's a great camera. You would not be disappointed. All right. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stream Creators out.